Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's town hall. Apologies for no intro music today. Our resident DJ is filming customer case studies in Atlanta, so we had to skip the tunes to get started with. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining our bi-weekly town hall. If you get disconnected from today's call at any point, please remember that you can head on over to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@hospitable. We are live streaming and recording, so you can head there if you get disconnected at any point. We are going to kick things off with some product updates from the team, and then we'll move on to some Q&A from the audience. If you do have any questions for us throughout the webinar today, you can use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen. Try to put your questions in there rather than the chat, so we can make sure that we can see all of them. We're briefly bringing up our disclaimer as always, and then we're going to go ahead and get started by handing it over to Andrew with his first updates. Andrew.
Hey everyone. As part of being an Airbnb Preferred Plus partner, we get the opportunity to work more closely with their product team. That has benefits for you as we get to function as a design partner on new features, making sure that your perspective finds its way into our products. So last week, we were the first global software provider to pilot a new Airbnb feature called Optimize for Airbnb, a program that is only available to hosts who are using select property management software that allows eligible properties the option to provide a limited time exclusive booking window on their high demand periods only to Airbnb and Direct. In exchange, Airbnb is currently offering a 1% rebate on completed stays during that program period. That effectively brings your service fee down from 15.5% to 14.5%, and in our humble opinion, makes your property management software the best place to manage Airbnb listings. So if you have just $1,500 in optimized for Airbnb bookings, that would pay for your Hospitable subscription on a professional property. Of course, most of you have more than $1,500 in bookings in your peak months. In the first 5 days since we've turned this on, we've already seen you generate over $8,000 in rebates. That's with only 146 hosts who check their email maybe more frequently than you do, having turned on an opportunity. Now, some of those 146 hosts probably only turned it on yesterday. So this is very much partial data. This is not even a full week. 92 hosts have already gotten a qualified booking. So that amounts to basically an average of $90 per host in just over 5 days. Not bad. So how does it work? Each opportunity has 3 stages. Let's say your property has an opportunity for the month of August in this example. If you decide you want to participate, that exclusive booking window for the property would likely be in June, during which your property would only be available on Airbnb and Direct for stays in August. At the end of the booking window, in this example, at the end of June, any August dates that remained unbooked would be automatically reopened and bookable on all of your channels. Then, in August, for each completed stay that was booked in your exclusive window, you qualify for a 1% rebate from Airbnb. Last week, we emailed all of the hosts who have currently eligible properties with opportunities in July and August. Overall, there are about 20,000 hospitable properties that have opportunities. The top 5 locations, if you're curious: London, Seattle, Pigeon Forge, Colorado Springs, and Toronto. Now, if you occasionally miss an email from Hospitable, we forgive you. You can also go to your property list view and look for the blue opportunity pill next to any of your properties. You can click through to open the property and see which opportunities you have. We're running a few of them right now. This host has an opportunity to improve their listing content by adding checkout tasks, as well as an optimized for Airbnb opportunity for July and August. Now, if this user clicks through on the opportunity, we'll have a pop-up menu that kind of explains more about the program details. We'll also let you select whether you want to make the entire month of the opportunity exclusive or just some of the dates. Again, to Airbnb and Direct, and again, all on your option. You're in control of this at any point. On your Hospitable calendar, we'll show you which dates you have opted into. If you select any of those dates in the calendar sidebar, you can then adjust your dates at any point. You can opt out at any time during the exclusive booking window. So that is optimized for Airbnb. We think this is an interesting experiment. We know it's not for everyone. If this doesn't fit your strategy as a host or a property manager, that's fine. You can ignore it. But we want to equip you with the tools to maximize your business. For those of you that do want to preference Airbnb for whatever reason, including for a 1% rebate, we are interested to see how you use this program and learn from this pilot and work with Airbnb to see what else we do next. Thank you. And with that, I will pass to Nick, who's going to talk about our exciting MCP.
Thanks, Andrew. Don't go too far. I'll call you back soon. Hi, everyone. So 1st of April, we were the first property management software to launch an official MCP server. What does MCP mean? It's basically a way for AI agents like Claude, like ChatGPT, to talk to your Hospitable account, find data there, find patterns there, and act on your behalf, like update settings, send messages, and so on. You can build custom dashboards with it, interesting reporting. You can find opportunities for like gap nights and so on, and message guests with offers. And like a lot of you, more and more over the past few weeks, have been using AI agents to connect to Hospitable MCP and really do very interesting things. MCP is available to everyone except those on the Essentials plan. And we are always adding more and more features to it. I'm realizing, yeah, there we go. I was looking at something different. So basically every week or every 2 weeks, there's something new being added to the MCP server to allow you to do more interesting things. More recently, your team members who have full access, so like admins on your account, can now also connect AI agents to your Hospitable account, meaning you have a bit less of an operational burden where your full access team members already can do a lot of things, just about everything on your account, and now they can be even more productive by having AI help them there as well. Now, to go along with that, that also means that now these same full access admin team members can also connect integrations they weren't able to before, and they can use the API they weren't able to before. So hopefully that helps quite a few of you out. Other tools that are newly available in the MCP recently, you can now have AI agents lock and unlock smart locks when you want to. You're still in control. AI agents wouldn't do this for you automatically unless you want them to, as well as make updates to schedule messages, like, for example, tune the wording or the timing for an upcoming scheduled message to one or more of your guests. More things coming all the time to the MCP server. And if you want to know more about tips and tricks, how to get started, any questions that you might have, visit community.hospitable.com. There is a dedicated section for the MCP where other hosts are also active. They're answering questions, they're asking questions, sharing their best practices. So please do go ahead and join there. One last thing to mention on the MCP. If you visit our YouTube channel, you'll find that there are now 3 completed recorded workshops from the past month or so, where I went from the very basics all the way to building more complex kind of entire systems and workflows using Hospitable MCP. So if you're interested, you've never done anything like this with AI, you can check out those recordings on our YouTube channel to get a sense for like what you can actually do there and for ideas and prompts that you can use. So we'd love for you to go ahead and do that, and then give us your feedback for what interesting things you've been doing with the MCP. Next, I'm going to stick around for a little bit more to talk about app polish. And in particular, I'm going to start with a topic that's both painful for you and us, and that is how the app performs or how slow it is in many cases. So, we've been getting comments like, you end up having to go to the OTA, to Airbnb or Vrbo to actually make to respond to your guests, or the app is just not loading for you at all, or it's being slow. We hear you. This is painful. We want to solve it. We're we're constantly working on this, as we've talked about before. However, I do want to zero in on some actual data. So we keep track of the app performance internally quite intensely. And the graph that I'm showing you on the screen now, there's two lines. The very bottom line, the bluish one, is the average time that any given, let's say, app interaction takes between the app and our server. So like roughly, we're talking about like 400, 300 milliseconds, right? Less than half a second on average for something to happen. That doesn't mean the whole screen to pop in, but like parts of the screen that may take multiple things to piece together, each of those things taking like less than half a second. Generally speaking, the app is actually pretty fast behind the scenes in terms of how it operates on a technical level. The darker purple line is what's called P95. It's like the higher end of expected durations of those interactions. And, those can range between like 1 second up to like 2.5 or so seconds. Now, one thing you'll notice is that there are these peaks and troughs, and those correspond very, very nicely with US waking hours. Now, it turns out that our customer base is predominantly based in the United States, and so that has an impact on how our app performs, because the more people are using the app, certain parts of the app start being a little bit slower than others. And so you can actually see this over time. Peak US hours, the app is a little bit slower. And then peak sleep US hours, the app is faster. Now, that's all to say that averaged out, the app is actually doing decently well. However, that's contrasted with the experiences that you're sharing with us, where you're clearly seeing that something's not loading, or it takes ages to load, or the messages are coming in, later than you would like them to be. So you need to get out of the app to do something elsewhere. So there's this juxtaposition between what we see averaged out and what you experience on a personal level. And so we always want to tackle those, but we also need to see where this happens, because, when you look at a holistic level, it doesn't look like much is happening. So we always need to drill down deeper into issues. And one of those, for example, more recently, we talked about the app freezing in the inbox. Whenever you kind of paste a message, you try to type it in. We've gone through, I think at this point, 8 different potential fixes to try and figure out what it is that's happening. And we still don't have a clear answer. Sometimes it takes a long time to really figure out why something is either broken or slow. I want to share a bit more context to kind of give a bit more color and context basically to this whole equation. Anyway, next, nevertheless, we have made some pretty big progress on a couple of parts. Overall, when looking at the app loading experience, right? Like when you first open the app, we've made pretty significant improvements to this just over a week ago. We've made changes to how we're hosting the app, where the app content is coming from, and now it's distributed to multiple locations around the world. So depending on where you are, you should be receiving app updates faster, and it should be loading a little bit faster because of this distributed content distribution. And similarly, we've made changes to the way the inbox loads. Am I seeing the wrong slide? Miles, I think. There we go. Thank you. Around May 19th. So in the previous slide, those changes rolled out around May 18th. A day later, we also made another change to how fast the inbox itself loads. So when you're seeing the list of conversations, the chart that you're seeing there is the red vertical line is when we rolled out this change. So before that, the kind of the lowest or like the fastest loads were around the 1 second mark on average. After that, the fastest were around the like 600, 700 millisecond mark. And yeah, we achieved something like a 30% faster load time for that inbox overall. We do take a lot of, I mean, pride is maybe the wrong word. We pay a lot of attention to these things, and we're going to keep doing this. And there's more to come, especially in the next few days. We have some bigger bets around how to improve the overall experience across the entire app. But one thing to mention is like some optimizations are a lot more experimental and tricky than others to do. And we honestly need to be careful not to uh, accidentally break things for like over 20,000 customers who rely on us for critical operations. So although the app can be slow, that's better than the app being broken. And so that's why we're sometimes more careful than maybe you might like us to be. You would love for us to quickly fix things and quickly speed things up, but we do need to be careful for everyone in the host community. Anyway, more to come. Hopefully the app will be, again, significantly faster than what it is now in the next few days. And one last thing for me, apart from these things and apart from the product updates that you will hear today, our town halls are really about the sort of the bigger, more impactful things, but we're always releasing lots of things behind the scenes that we don't really shine a light on because for us is like part of the ongoing improvements in the app. I'm not going to go through this whole list, but that just gives you a small, really honestly, a small snapshot from the last like 10 days for things that we just happen to fix, in the app that might be broken or just not quite working so as well as we'd like. This is always happening behind the scenes. We just don't really, trumpet it as we do with other features. Anyway, more improvements to come, speed ups to come. I wanted to shine a light a little bit more on our efforts here. And so with that, I'm going to hand over to Marina to talk about connectivity.
Hello, thank you, Nick. Okay, so we're approaching the release of our newest integration, Vrbo Official. And with the new integration, you'll be able to manage your Vrbo listings the same way you manage Airbnb and Hospitable, managing your pricing, your availability, messaging, descriptions, photos, reservations, all in one place. You can have multiple Vrbo accounts connected and the connection stays stable so you don't get disconnects anymore. It's not live yet for everyone, but let me show you where we are. We have 500 hosts, over 500 hosts, who are now live on Vrbo Official. And this is a big deal for them because that means that they're managing everything from one place. So they're not juggling tabs anymore, not hunting for the right listing and the right account and doing the update again on an account. If you run multiple Vrbo accounts, they all work from the same place as well. So it really saves our hosts a lot of time. And those hosts, next slide, please. They already received over 2,000 reservations since they connected. And keep in mind that most of them just connected last week. So, and they already got reservations. So those are reservations that were fully managed end to end from Hospitable without having to go to Vrbo at all to manage them. And those 2,000 reservations generated over 700,000 in booking volume for our hosts. And those reservations are fully managed on Hospitable end to end, the payments for it. So the payment happens, we process it, we offer chargeback protection, we remit the taxes. No other Vrbo integration does that in the market. That's very unique to Hospitable, so we're very excited about that. So all that is going on. How can I jump in? So we have a wait list, and the wait list is the fastest way to get access. We already inviting hosts. We had those 500 hosts invited so far, and we're getting to all the hosts who are in our wait list in the next 2 weeks. When you join the wait list, you can share your preferences as well, whether you want us to be your merchant of record, which I really recommend because we can handle taxes for you, or use Stripe. In that way, you have to manage your own taxes. But that helps us invite you in the right time because we're just about to finalize Stripe. So we understand when what we have live fits your needs. Regardless of that, we're planning to open the new integration to everyone on June 10th, which is coming very soon. But if you want early access, you can scan the QR code and join the waitlist. It takes about a minute to fill out the survey, and it's the best way to get in early. Now, I'd like to invite Abby to stage to share updates on Direct.
Thank you, Marina. So first for Direct is an update on payment history and receipts. We teased this in an earlier town hall, but I wanted to announce officially that this is live. So now your Direct guests can see their payment history from the guest portal, and they can download receipts for each individual payment or refund, as well as a reservation summary, which covers the total cost of their trip and all of their payment history. The PDF receipt and the reservation summary PDF will also have your logo if you have it set up for the guest portal. So if your guests are asking for receipts for reimbursement purposes or for whatever reason, you can direct them to the guest portal to download them. Also new to the guest portal are messages. So now your direct and your manual reservations will continue to get emails from you when you send messages, but they can now access their full conversation history with you and reply to those messages in the guest portal. So instead of having to keep track of different email threads, guests now have a single reliable place to view all of their communication with you about their reservation. And we have to say a big thank you to Anthony, who is in the chat right now, and very excited, which is great. He submitted a lot of feedback, and many of you have actually upvoted Anthony's feature requests as well as contributed really thoughtful feedback in the community. So we were really excited to ship this. There's still a lot more we want to do in the guest portal to add value there and to make it the hub for your guests. But we're starting with messages in the guest portal for direct and manual reservations. And next up is Emily.
Great, thanks, Abby. That was fun to watch in the chat. Made me laugh, Anthony. Awesome. Okay, I'm here to give an update on the Property Manager Marketplace that we launched just 6 weeks ago, which is a little bit crazy, on April 15th. So we are actively bringing the opportunity to work with new owners to our mogul customers who operate in the US, UK, or Australia. All of our mogul customers in those regions are participating by default. You don't need to opt into this. You don't need to sell us on it. We know how you're performing, and we think you deserve the opportunities to work with more owners and their properties. When we are in touch with an owner whose goals are aligned with your performance, we will proactively be reaching out to you. To date, we have brought 434 opportunities to our mogul customers. And actually 13% of all mogul customers have received at least one opportunity so far. Many of you have received multiple. We are really just getting started here. We want to see this number grow. We want all of you to get more opportunities. So we are doing our part to get in front of the right owners through a really exciting collaboration with our marketing team, who's launching an affiliate program with real estate professionals across the country who are working with owners to purchase their first investment properties. And you're probably wondering, okay, we're doing our part. What can I do as a property manager? There are several things that you can do now to increase the likelihood that you receive an opportunity. We match owners with our customers based on 2 things, readiness and fit. You can see your current readiness score in the Marketplace Hub under your business, which is available for our mogul customers, as well as the steps that you can actually take to improve your readiness. A lot of these things have to do with the ways that you're using certain features. We want to make sure that you are ready to take on a new owner as a client, even if you've never managed before. We are looking at the performance of all of your properties, not just the properties that you're actually managing for others. So if you're on the mogul plan and you're maybe only doing arbitrage or only self-managing properties you own, that's great too. If you're doing well there, we believe you deserve opportunities to manage for other owners as well. We're also assessing the fit of the opportunity. This is largely driven by the owner's goals and their desired services. So there's not much you can do about what they want, but you can customize your PM profile in the Marketplace Hub under your business. This is only shown to owners whose opportunities you've actually expressed interest in, but it's a great thing to do now to kind of be prepared for that moment by being sure that your bio, your services, your service areas, and your contact information there are up to date. So I will drop a link to a help article in the chat with more on how to do this should you need some help. Last but not least, we want to thank you guys for introducing us to owners who need help. We're obviously in touch with owners who are maybe self-managing on Hospitable already, and we're doing our part to proactively reach out to owners who are not yet using the PMS or not on Hospitable. But we've also gotten a lot of introductions to owners from you, and we really thank you for that. We've learned that at a certain point, property managers actually start to say no, maybe more often than they say yes. And so we think that we can create a better outcome for everybody by giving you the chance to say no in a better way and refer that owner to the marketplace so that we can then help them find a property manager who's a great fit for them. And one day, someone else's no might turn into an opportunity for you, so we can all help each other out here. You can go to that little profile image in the bottom left of your account, click on Refer a Host, and there's a unique link there that you can use to share with owners that you're in touch with if you'd like to refer them to the marketplace for us to find a great property manager for them. As a thank you, we will apply a $500 credit on your account when an owner that you refer hires a property manager through the marketplace. Just our fun way to say thanks. All right, next we have Miles to talk about some new integrations.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Emily. Yes, so just going to take a quick look through some of the latest integrations available to connect to Hospitable. So companies that have chosen to build an integration to our property management software. So just to quickly run through these new ones. So we have allstay.ai, which helps short-term rental hosts automate operations by coordinating cleaning, maintenance, and guest-driven tasks in real time. Bellhop is a concierge platform for ordering pre-arrival groceries with seamless delivery and in-home stocking. Book with Haven allows you to transform your Hospitable listings into a premium design-forward booking experience with a beautifully crafted site and elevated guest journey. SDR Desk lets you sync your Hospitable guests' reservations, properties, and reviews into a CRM and productivity tools. And Yada is a STI loyalty and marketing engine that brings back guests via direct booking, saving you on booking channel fees. So if you want to find out more about any of these new applications, you can head to my.hospitable.com/integrations. And one more small announcement to make. We actually have an update on our Google Nest integration. So this has mostly been installed while we waited for Google to approve our app. Like you, we had pretty much given up. There was seemingly nothing we could do to drive the integration forwards. So this is a great surprise, but we're not out of the woods yet. We can now expand our pilot to another handful of customers. Because the pilot audience is restricted to such a small size, we're only opening this to Hospitable investors, as we like to call them Avengers, who also operate as our board of advisors. So I'm sure we can share some more updates in upcoming town halls on that as well. Switching over now to events and what we have upcoming. So starting off with an event tomorrow, we have our next customer success workshop focused all around dynamic pricing and how to price your property to gain more revenue. The team will lead you through some slides there and also be taking some Q&A as well. So if you want to register for that event, go ahead, scan the QR code or head to hsptb.com/workshop and make sure you can check out that event tomorrow. You'll also be able to watch it on replay at the same link. And next up, next week, we have our office hours with Brandon, our resident accountant. So he's going to be taking questions from you on the financial side of running your short-term rental business. This is going to be a new long-running monthly slot that Brandon will be doing. I think the first Thursday of every month. So go ahead, you can scan that QR code, register for the next event. You can also register for future events if you can't make that next one on June 4th as well. And then finally, as always, we will be back in 2 weeks' time with our town hall. So don't forget to scan the QR code to get yourself on the list, on the link, so you can add all of those to your calendar and make sure you don't miss any of those. And as always, if you want to check out any of our events, you can head to the community at community.hospitable.com. And there's an events tab at the top, which tells you about all of our upcoming workshops and in-person events as well. And finally, I think that's enough from me. I'm going to hand it back over to PC to give us a host token update.
Not even back. I didn't talk so far, which is great. There is a correlation between success of a town hall and ability for me to speak. So sorry, I ruined it, guys. Yes, another update on the host token. This is the best ticket to become a hospitable investor, and that gives you some perks, namely some of which are to be on our Slack channel. So for example, Anthony lobbying on the guest messaging so messaging on the guest portal, that happens there directly in conversation with the product team. And that also gives you access to some perks whenever we need to work with the top of the people working with Hospitable. So obviously that's what the group that we call the Avengers that are available on our Slack channel. So they are all investors into Hospitable because Hospitable is different. This is a company that you, a customer, can invest into. So you can just join on invest.hospitable.com and you can buy tokens named host that basically are a proxy to our equity. And so that means whenever the company is going to be sold or acquired, technically it's both, depending on the perspective, then you get to make money off the proceeds of that exit. So that's great. Hospitable is not VC funded. That's the one company in the space that is not VC funded or that has not sold out to private equities, entirely team and customer owned. And we're very attached to remaining like that because it gives us the liberty of, for example, sharing transparently about the work that we're doing on the performance of the application without being afraid of a board. And we can actually just share how we're doing the application better every 2 weeks and say the message that we want to have come across. So you can join Hospitable and Hospitable investor groups. Right now, the token is trading at $42. It has been increasing very steadily because we underwent a major correction. It's still heavily discounted. So it's at least a 15% discount over what could be called a fair market value. It's likely going to be higher considering the growth that we're experiencing right now. And yeah, if you invest more than $5,000, you can be eligible to join our Slack group, our Slack channels, if you want to. So just one thing that is for US residents, you will need to show evidence of accreditation as an investor. You cannot insult me about this. You can be as frustrated as you can. I cannot do anything and change the law. Please go to accredited.am, which has so far has been the best service for providing you with an accredited investment verification letter thingy so that I can approve you for investment. There's just a message on the chat from Carol who said, I want to do a monthly investment. That's great. You can do a monthly investment of $2,500 minimum. And you can keep hedging like this. But this is not one of the things that can go down. So there basically is a benefit to securing the best price, which is the price that would have been secured yesterday, but the next best thing is today. Okay, so this is my pitch. Now we can move on to the Q&A. And it seems like we're going to have plenty of time to be talking about this. We're going to take bets on what we're going to be talking about. But no, we're always wrong on this. Okay, let's go. What do we have? Miles.
Cool. Yes. Just a reminder, everyone, if you do want to come on stage to ask a question, you can head down to the React button, click raise hand under there. Then we'll know that you want to come on stage. When I invite you on stage, I'll ask you to unmute yourself. There should be a microphone button at the bottom that you can click to do that. So we do have a couple of people already with their hands raised. Aaron, I'm inviting you on stage now. Hello.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Hello, Aaron. Yes, how are you doing?
Okay. I'm doing well. I can't complain. I'm just getting ready, I think, to make the switch into the mogul plan. I've been kind of legacy for a number of years, and so I'm really thankful and excited for all the work you guys have done.
Yes.
So, quick question. I have the overwhelming question constantly coming to me, can I check in early? It is the number one time suck. My current workflow looks like this. You ask if we can check in early. I've got to check Turno to see if the cleaners completed the project, but obviously Turno is clunky. And there's no way for me to quickly respond to that. I think what needs to happen here is a ready status available on every property in the property dashboard so that I can create conditional rules that says automatically, yes, you may check in early because that ready status is complete. Now, perhaps something like this already exists, but I have not been able to find it in any of the community or other notes that are available. So,
yep. Thank you, Aaron, for that. It's on our radar. And actually, we did make an update since the last town hall. It was so small that I didn't think to even mention it today. But what you may have noticed now is in your inbox on both the kind of outgoing and incoming reservations around a cleaning task, we now show you the status of that clean. So you should actually have it in your inbox list view. So when you get a request, you already know that the cleaning is in progress or the cleaning is complete and the rental is ready. That's like one step of getting to what you want. I think we want to have it completely automated. We obviously have kind of the pieces. We just need to do a bit more work putting it together. We're still very early, I think, in our journey, completely overhauling operations, but we will absolutely get there. It will be fully automated. And yeah, you should be seeing that status now. You should also be getting event messaging into your reservations on a same-day turnover whenever it's the cleaning is complete. That's if you're using Hospitable's operation project. I don't think our integration with Turno is that sophisticated.
Okay, so can you just give me those directions again, just so I can locate it?
Yeah. So this is if you're using Hospitable's operations. So if you go into Hospitable, there's an operations in the side menu, and we have something called the Tasks app now, and that works with your Hospitable teammates. So if you set up, say, a task rule, so for this property, whenever there is a reservation, create a cleaning task, perhaps 1 hour after checkout, and assign it to this person, we'll start to automate that. And that teammate will use the Tasks app. It's task.hospitable.com, and they'll be marking their status, and you'll be able to actually see their location on the map. You'll see, as they're checking off items, as they're uploading photos, all updates in real time in Hospitable. And that will give you a lot more context around the status of your cleanings. And that's using operations in the Tasks app. That makes sense?
Okay. Yep, does. Quick follow-up question. So currently in Turno, we have perhaps a primary cleaner, secondary cleaner. They assign themselves automatically to the job. And in this particular case where we're using task management, what would be the appropriate structure there? Or maybe there's a training you could point me towards, so I'm not wasting everybody else's time with.
No, this is great. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of help center content on Hospitable tasks, but these kind of questions help everybody. So we don't do automatic kind of rollover from primary to secondary. That's coming very soon. But we do assign tasks. So if you assign it to this one cleaner, we'll wait for an accept or a decline from them. And if we get a decline, we'll notify you, and that'll jump you right back into the app, and you can move it to the secondary cleaner. We'll automate that step as well soon. But it's not a big lift to kind of, when it rolls over to select a secondary teammate.
Okay. All right. I appreciate that. Thanks.
Cool. And we're doing all the payments as well for those. So when the cleaning's completed, we can go ahead and pay them as well. That's all part of the.
Is that and that already exists inside of the? Oh gosh. Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
I appreciate your question.
Very appreciated, Aaron, for that question. Every time we have an influx of new users that didn't hear about this particular feature, but yes, you don't have to use a third-party cleaning application. You can just use Hospitable, and we're gonna, as you can see, there is a lot of interest of being able to merge the guest portal purchase of upsells with your operation data with the cleaning that's been completed. So that's something that only a PMS can consistently do.
Yeah, and that was in last week's town hall. Was the upsell? Any upsell information on reservation is communicated to your cleaners in the tasks app now. So
they know that an upsell has been purchased, and they know that they need to clean by that time because the cleaning is happening. The check-in is going to be earlier. Okay, great stuff. Thank you very much, Aaron, and thank you, Andrew. Next one.
Great. Inviting Mindy on stage now. Hello, Mindy.
Hello, Mindy. How can we help you?
Hello. Thank you so much for these town halls. I love them. A lot of great information. I just have a question about Smarty and how we can best get quick answers to, I think, pretty simple questions. I pay for the extra support of WhatsApp, but sometimes my questions will sit in there for a couple days before somebody or AI will answer them.
All right. What was the question on the Smarty side, just to be clear?
How do I get faster help? Okay. I already pay for the support, the faster support in WhatsApp, but sometimes nothing answers my questions.
Yeah. So Smarty should be kicking in pretty much automatically. You should never have to wait for any amount of time at all to
That's
talk to
what I
our AI. It's
thought.
basically,
Yeah.
yeah, like I might have to look into the particular interactions you had with us to see if there was an issue there on our end. There were a couple of incidents with the tool that we're using for Smarty, so that's Finn. And so there was a little bit of a moment earlier this week where that might have happened, but it's not common at all that there should be any delays there. So if that's the experience, then yeah, let me know. I'll look those up. On in general, like the broader question of how to get faster support, honestly, engaging with Smarty is really the fastest way to get your support. We are quite reliant on it when it comes to identifying like the urgency of a particular case and then prioritizing it and routing it to the right team members. And we've also really trained it to ask pretty much exactly the same questions that our support team would ask, so that at the point at which a person is able to handle your case, they already have all the information necessary to be able to resolve it as quickly as possible. So that's usually the fastest way to get support. It does, like we do have some slower response times than we would like and than we generally aim for. Our team has just been honestly buried over the last couple of months. We've added a ton of new capacity and a lot of new people, but it also takes time to ramp up people. And so, yeah, we're working really, really hard on the Smarty side to at least make sure that as many cases as possible can be handled as quickly as possible. And then we are also working on the human support side as well to make sure that everything else that's left that Smarty cannot handle, we're able to respond a lot faster.
So is WhatsApp still the best place to activate Smarty and get questions answered?
Yeah, like you can use WhatsApp, you can use the messenger that's in your Hospitable account, you can write us via email. Smarty will engage with you across all platforms. Yeah.
Which one is faster? Because I just haven't been getting support through WhatsApp very fast at all.
So it seems that there are a few people that are reporting that basically their experience with WhatsApp was a little bit broken in recent days. So especially to engage with Smarty. So that points to basically some configuration issue. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, our setup is extremely complex on this part. So that's something we really investigate to find how we can do that, because typically this is the channel that you pick to engage with our support team is completely neutral. It can be WhatsApp, which is the privilege of the priority support. You can do on live chat, so using the messenger that we use in our application, and you can use by email. On all of those channels, you will have a first response always by Smarty to be qualifying everything and surfacing every information that Smarty will have access to on the entirety of your account. And then that speeds up the chance for our support team to be resolving this particularly faster. So if you want to talk to a human, this will basically, if you say that you on WhatsApp that you want to talk to a human, that will be routed after a bit of a row with Smarty to qualify the issue. But that will definitely not make it faster, to be clear. That means it will be reviewed by a human. It will be flagged internally on our end. At the top of the queue, we will have SLAs that are going to be triggered, but that doesn't do not expect an answer within 10 minutes, because the question that you ask can take 10 minutes, but the resolution or even the diagnosis of basically all the different cases that might happen on any single issue is probably going to 12 steps each. And then we may need to ask a third party, because the core of our business is to be integrators. There is no pixels that you can use on Hospitable that are not basically that, with the third party having an impact on it. So to close the loop here, it will take some time. There's a lot of qualification. There's a lot of back and forth that we're doing as well on our side, including with our booking platform partners. So that's one of the things. The job that we do is very complex behind the scenes. So yeah, we're going to investigate what's happening, particularly with WhatsApp on the first answer from Smarty.
We'll definitely look into that. Just a couple of the comments here around, I don't know if WhatsApp is any faster. I think it's the same. So ultimately what happens when you reach out via WhatsApp, but also via other channels when you have priority support, is that we prioritize your particular case. And so across the queue, let's say we have like X% of our customer base has purchased priority support. Those cases will be prioritized first, and we do our best to get to them first. There's no difference between whether you contact us as a priority support person, whether you contact us via WhatsApp or via email or via the messenger. We'd have the exact same treatment on our side for all of those. And so that's why you would not experience WhatsApp as different from any of the other experiences that you have. We do, however, also proactively prioritize anything that we feel is urgent. So for example, if someone has a guest checking in within 24 hours and they have a particular problem with a reservation, then we will also prioritize that particular case because we know that it's urgent and time sensitive.
Good. Thank you for the in-depth answer, Nuran. Yeah.
Thank you. Great to see you there.
Great. And thank you very much, Mindy, for the question. Okay, jump into our next person, Emily. Hello, welcome you on stage.
Hello, Emily.
I just had a quick question about the Vrbo official integration. Once that goes live for everybody, will Hospitable actually be the merchant of record, or is that still in works? And is there any will we be able to do payout splits on Airbnb, or like we do on Airbnb if I were to go to Mogul for invoicing purposes?
You want to do it? No, we're not doing it, Andrew. We're not doing it.
Yeah, okay. What, I have to keep tight lips? Yeah, so you're gonna have a choice, Emily, on your payment solution for the Vrbo partner integration. Right now, it's all Hospitable as the merchant of record. That's the only option right now in this period. What we're starting just now to roll out to kind of private pilot users is an opportunity for you to be the merchant of record using Stripe. That's going to be an alternative for you, especially in areas where we aren't set up to be the merchant of record. If you're in the US, if you're in Australia, in the UK, you have the option to use Hospitable as the merchant of record. One of the advantages of doing that is going to be that we will have the ability to do split payouts. I can't say anything just yet about an ETA. It's coming soonish. But yeah, the idea is direct, Vrbo, hopefully with Booking.com as well. We already know if you're using Mogul, for example, what you owe to your owner or what they owe to you. If you're using the operations product to pay out your own team, we already know how much you're going to pay your cleaner, for example, on the reservation. We might even know like what a commission on Vrbo is going to be coming out to, and we can split that payment at the reservation rather than make you reconcile that all out later. So again, as a property manager, you're going to be able to offer faster payments to your owners, get paid out faster yourself. Those are all really, really exciting things that we expend quite a lot of energy thinking about here. And we'll have more about that in the next town hall, which is the official launch of Vrbo on June 10th.
Okay, awesome. So are you saying that the payout split will only be an option if I am the merchant of record, or are you saying if
we're the merchant of record?
If
we
you
don't have that capability yet in Stripe.
Okay.
We're building it into our merchant of record.
Yeah.
Okay.
To clarify, Emily, yes, it's on Hospitable merchant of record. The 700,000 that you've seen are processed by Hospitable, taking full liability for the chargebacks, for the taxes as well. So this is the first class citizen experience, obviously, because we can we fix everything end to end until the payout, and we're gonna share maybe next week, next town hall, an update on split payouts, because we've been hearing that, and it's a really interesting proposition.
And Carol,
can't wait.
thank you.
Yes,
And Carol,
there's
in the
always
chat's
something.
asking-
There's always something. Emily, you know that. Andrew?
Carol in the chat's asking also about taxes. Taxes, again, is also a merchant of record for Hospitable experience. So if you let us do that, wherever we're already doing tax remittance for you on direct premium, that's where we can do it on Vrbo as well. So Carol's asking about Pigeon Forge. I believe that's Tennessee. The entire state of Tennessee, we do all taxes. So all lodging, all sales tax, we're already doing that. So if you're in that same boat in Tennessee and you want to be on the Vrbo with Hospitable as a merchant record, we'll take care of all your taxes for you too.
Your lodging taxes. There is a bit of a limit in terms
income.
No. For next year,
sales tax, lodging tax.
Please, don't run for it. And there is a map, so you have plenty of articles. You can go to help.hospitable.com, and we have specific articles for the specific jurisdictions where we're collecting taxes, because it's no longer something that we can report on this channel. It would otherwise be very long. But maybe that's an opportunity to rebroadcast again the accountant in residence office hour that we've broadcasted, because this is also what we're talking about, and Brandon is doing doing a fantastic job of fighting with those jurisdictions to be registered so that we can pay taxes. As a European, I do not understand that, but it seems that in the US, it's very difficult to be paying taxes to more jurisdiction. I can assure you the experience in Germany or in Italy or in France will be very different. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Thank you, Ryan, for sharing the link.
No worries. Thank you, Emily, for the question at the start of that. And hello, Park, welcoming you on stage. Do you have a question for us, Park?
Hello. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself, Park, if you're around.
Potentially an accidental hand raise.
An accidental hand raise.
Okay, we're gonna skip. We can come back to you if you decide to re-raise your hand. Next up, we have Elephant at 1 with a question. Hello.
Elephant at 1. If you can unmute yourself too, that would be great. There was a bit of a button. Now go ahead, try it again. We cannot hear you. Elephant,
You
I think
unmuted
you were,
and then remuted.
you were very eager to ask a question, so it would be great if we could hear you. You need to press the unmute button. Okay, we got to be fair and know for the same time for everyone.
Yeah, I think we're gonna skip and we'll try again at the end if we have time. Okay, Mia, welcoming you on stage. Third time's the charm. Come on, Mia.
Please, Mia.
Yes.
We're unmuted, but we cannot hear you. What's happening? Is this a joke? Is there a camera? Am I recorded?
Okay, well.
I am. Mia, you need to unmute yourself and you need to make sure your headphones or mic is also working. There you go. Now you're muted, but we don't hear you.
Hello?
Yes, now we can hear you. Fantastic. How can we help you today?
Good morning. Thank you for taking my question. So I'm an owner, but I hear you guys talking about the need for other property managers. How do I find out whether or not that would be something that I'd be interested in doing?
As an owner, to be working with a property manager or to become a property manager?
To become a property manager.
That's great. I think there are plenty of resources we can do, but fundamentally that's a choice you get to make. I don't know if so what are your questions about it?
How do I find out more about it and what does it involve? And then additionally, I had a second question. I have my property on Hospitable and I use Stripe and it's listed on Airbnb. And I've been trying to get it listed on booking.com and Vrbo, but I've had difficulty doing that because of there's this area where you finish all the steps and you've done everything that you need to do, but then you have to enter pricing. But my pricing is done through, I use the Hospitable pricing that you guys offer for premier pricing. And so I'm not exactly sure how to price it because each day of the week is different, especially with holidays. And so how does that get integrated into Vrbo so that a customer doesn't go to Vrbo and then see that the pricing is different if they go to Airbnb?
Well, the pricing should be different. Okay, let's go back a little. So first of all, you're asking me a question about becoming a property manager. That's a business choice for you to make. You are already a business owner, and you can decide whether it makes sense for you to be expanding. You have a fantastic resource at Hospitable, which is a community. So you can go to community.hospitable.com and probably ask your questions. I would say what's one thing that you wish you would know about before starting a property management business, and I'm sure you're going to have plenty of engagement and a lot of learnings to do about basically making that decision for you. You're going to have to service clients, your other owners. You're going to have to provide a service to them. That's going to have to be differentiated because wherever you are, there is probably some competition, and this competition, this space is a bit difficult. You need to set a good price, you need to be differentiated, you need to be marketing, you need to be selling, and you need to be goddamn good at being reliable onto servicing every single reservation that you have in the book, and obviously grow your owner's business as well. So this is not a decision that anyone can do for you. You're a business owner. You can make the decision yourself. The second part seems a bit more complicated. We are not going to be able to troubleshoot that live. It seems to me like you were talking about Stripe, booking to different booking platforms. So Vrbo will help you create your listings once we have this live Vrbo partner integration that's coming June 10th, as we have shared earlier. For Booking.com, I would like the team to have a chance to investigate on what exactly is happening, knowing that you may be based in the US. Am I right, Mia?
Yes.
Yes. So you probably need to have some configuration in place for your existing account, but that's an integration where you can also you can use pay by booking, and we can help you create your listings. So I'm interested in hearing specifically what type of error message you might have. In terms of dynamic pricing, that's a feature that we have. We're gonna announce again some great updates to this feature. Yeah, we like. have you escalated that to our support team before?
Yes, I have, but it was months ago. So maybe I'll bring up the question again and try to escalate it to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, the product is changing very fast. So what was relevant 3 months ago is not really the case anymore. Andrew?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you saw, Mia, but I just shared it internally with the connectivity team, and we'll have a look if there's something weird going around where we're asking for your price when we already have it through dynamic pricing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mia, and good luck on your journey. Can I have the next final one? That's going to be Andy. Everyone else, you can send me email on pc@hospitable.com. You're always welcome to drop me an email. I may not be the fastest to respond, but that's because I'm circulating things in the team. Hello, Andy. How can we help you today?
Good. How are you doing?
Fantastic.
Awesome. Actually, an investor question. So I'm the one who was talking about, I built my own platform. I never launched it, but I love the space. We own our own properties. But my big question is, as an investor, what's the moat that you guys are building that will protect from the players themselves cutting you out? So in other words, like Airbnb building their own MCP, or same thing with VRBO. Like what are you guys going to do to protect against that? I mean, is it like making the product so easy that people don't even need to worry about an MCP? Or I mean, but with the agents now, that will be something that you can just talk to the agent and say, do this on Airbnb. So just curious on, since you're the man in charge, what's the vision in terms of protecting against those players kind of cutting you guys out?
Yeah. So I'm not in those companies' little papers. I would love for them to have an MCP, because I think fundamentally every time that you start using software, you realize you would like to do more with it. There has never been a case where I want fewer automations, I want less AI. Typically that's open away. So that's one of the things that we're doing through Essentials. Who do you think is going to be the first customer of an MCP if Airbnb is doing that? First customer is going to be Booking.com or Vrbo.
Wait, you mean to spy on their platform?
Yes, I think I've seen there is no competitive advantage from any of those booking platforms to be creating an MCP. They are actually pretty much moving into an opposite stance, which is to be significantly more competitive and significantly more proprietary. And that's fair for every single one of them. Their marketplace, their job, their money is only as good as their ability to keep a reservation and basically have a take rate on it. If you are in a market where, let's say, the blue one, that's not really discriminatory, is a leader, if you are the red one, you want to be able to get all of their supply. If and vice versa in another market, I don't believe there is any fear on our side of having any kind of MCP to be released by any of those booking platforms, because they know immediately that they will lose their supply access immediately. They would lose their supply exclusivity or the proprietary stance that they may have on it. You have not heard any single booking platform communicating something like this, because their fear is actually on being disintermediated by AI, because ultimately there's been a lot of talk on that, so not anything that's basically is privy to me. But the fact that if AI is basically the place where ChatGPT or Claude is the place where you're going to look for your travel, the Airbnb or Vrbo or Booking.com and Agoda, for example, as other channels, become just the payment processors, and they want to be the place where there is going to be ample discovery. This is why also, for the same reason, it's not just about an MCP. And behind an MCP, you need to have an API. The APIs that we work with are incredibly expensive and time-consuming to be implementing. It's not there. We are consumers of a ton of APIs. We integrate with a ton of third parties, but those are very much of a different nature. We're launching in June our Vrbo integration, and this was basically almost a year after we were greenlit to start the development phase. And this is because you have a lot of certification, a lot of compliance and security that come in. It's not exactly the baggage of the average cloud user, nor does it have to be. There is no incentive for any booking platform to be opening up their data to basically allow their competitors to have access to it. There is a case on Tony, who is our customer success team, saying Facebook is a good example of this. Facebook has quasi-monopoly in the advertising spend, and they do with the I don't know about the details of the MCP that they have released yesterday, for example, for advertising, but it's basically helping you spend more money on it, not really helping you go away from that, because they have achieved that kind of major position. Still, I think in our industry, things are very competitive, and I probably are more competitive now than ever before because of that big acceleration on provided by AI.
Yeah.
So
okay. Quick follow-up, if you don't mind. The other follow-up to that is years and years ago, I got into Amazon, built a seven-figure Amazon business, ended up exiting to enter the Airbnb business. But the risk I see, or the change that I see happening in Airbnb was exactly like Amazon, where once they brought in all these third parties, they start cranking up the fees and choking people out. At some point, I wouldn't be surprised if Airbnb starts buying single-family homes and cutting us out completely. So on that same note, at some point, will you guys spin up your own marketplace? So in other words, instead of us just having a direct booking site, having a marketplace. So it's book.hospitable.com where you have a marketplace that then cuts out Airbnb at some point, because that's. If they go down the same path as Amazon, that's going to be a much harder market to compete in.
And that's our show for today. No, we have to be real here. We have a great partnership with Airbnb, just like we're having a great partnership with Vrbo and Booking.com. I think we are, as a property management software, we're inevitable in that the business owners of those short-term rentals will want to optimize the revenue, will want to supplement the feature set that they're having access to. They have the right to be having the tools for running the business, and they don't have to be limited to their marketing channels, which are Airbnb, Booking.com, Vrbo, and others. They know there are booking channels, they are marketing-driven marketplaces. They are only as strong as the guests that are booking on that platform, and it's not expected to be the 100% holy grail of those operations. Airbnb, like others, are reporting on the professional host segment. They basically are providing significantly more liquidity in the marketplace than other categories of vendors. They are very good at releasing a product that makes the supply captive, but there is an end to this, is that inevitably they will want to go work with another booking platform, with their own direct platform, and then they need to have, I won't say middleman, but basically an interface between those different products. Yes, and that's our show. Plenty of comments in the chat about this.
Sorry to bore everybody else with those high-level questions. Just like I said,
I think those are great questions. We ask those questions every other day. We saw basically, is there going to be a SaaS apocalypse? In our case, frankly, the buyers know that this business is actually surprisingly defensible. First, it's working with cleaners. ChatGPT doesn't clean my room yet. It's going to take a while. It's going to may happen one day. And the other part is that we are integrators, and those integrations are among the most expensive that I could come up with. So if there is no path on that being publicly releasable, Otherwise, you lose your competitive advantage as a booking platform.
Yeah, no, I know how hard it is. Like I said, I spun up, I have an entire platform, but I never launched it because of all of those issues. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So anyway, very interesting, and I appreciate the time, and thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Andy. So that's our show. Am I saying that right, Miles? Am I saying that right? Is it the French accent again?
Yeah, it's just the accent. Don't worry, we all understood.
Okay, yeah, everybody understood. Everybody's making fun of me. That's fine. If you complain about this, it means you have plenty of room you're not complaining about all the other things, so at least it keeps you busy. So thank you so very much for attending this one. The main things that I would like for you to keep out of this town hall, we have an amazing partnership with Airbnb to the point where now we are releasing those specific pilot work. I think we're the first globally to be launching this. So there is a lot of attention on you guys on whether you are adopting those features. This is an indication of what I was alluding to, is a competitiveness between platforms that I see more and more in the conversation that we are having as a company across all those different booking platforms, that there is definitely something happening right now. So you have a fantastic and unique opportunity with Airbnb and Hospitable to follow this Optimize for Airbnb program. Next town hall is going to be a pretty unique one. It's going to be longer. We're probably going to keep it to 90 minutes or 2 hours. There's been a talk of 2 hours because it's going to be the biggest release of, I want to say the year, but at least of all, maybe this year, maybe of all time, when we're going to be releasing to everyone our Vrbo integrations. It's going to be a fantastic opportunity to review point by point everything that's happening. We're going to have special guests. It's going to be an effort across the entire company and across every single team, because we've been pushing for this, as I alluded to earlier, I won't say building it for the past year, but the story behind Hospitable and Vrbo is almost a decade long. So please stay tuned for this one. It's going to be a pretty historic one, and it's one you don't want to be missing. So thank you so very much. We're excited about those new releases, those new partnerships with booking platform. It's a new era.